Good evening. This is Philip Fieldy Music, and tonight I'm going to do another albums that mean a lot to me. This is R.E.M. Monster. So I don't know if I want to go through like the history with the band. I feel like I did that in a recent or like a song of the day from like a year ago or something. But anyway, I'll do just like a little abridged version. So I mean, I heard the hits a lot when I was a kid. You know, like "It's the End of the World as We Know It" and "Stand" and stuff like that. "Losing My Religion." I remember when that came out. That was a pretty big deal for me. But since then, I've gone back and listened to all their discography, and I would say mostly I'm a fan of most of their albums. So, um, but for this one, I remember this is when I got enough money to be able to like get an album, and I was like, okay, so this is like my first CD I bought with my own money. So this is after I'd done my pivot into changing into exploring different music from what I had normally been listening to, which was classical and country music mostly, some rock, but not really. Uh, I wouldn't say really, but yeah, during school, I've told the story many times, but I'll say it real quick. During my school time, somebody said I needed to find like a thing or like an identity for myself, and music was it. And yeah, exploring different kinds of music and everything, and alternative rock was my jam. I found out and started listening to 99X out of Atlanta, Georgia. Spoke about that with the Under the Pink Tori Amos album, which was the last time I did a album that meant to me thing, which was last week, I believe. Anyways, so this one, I mean, it's way different than Losing My Religion and all that stuff. So, yeah, because I was reading a lot about this album today, uh, and even before that, I could say like the singles. I guess "What's Frequency Kenneth" is what sold it for me. The first single from this album, I believe. Um, but they were trying to go away from the "Out of Time" and man, what was the album before that? Anyway, the album before that, whatever it was. Um, because it was very soft and acousticy, and they would be sitting around, and they were getting tired of doing that. They wanted to do something a little louder and raucous. Um, Michael Stipe had started a friendship with Kurt Cobain, or they started a friendship with each other. Don't want to seem like it's one sided. Um, so that influenced the work as well. Um, Rivers Phoenix, he passed away, and this was like a big thing for the album because it was friends with Michael Stipe as well. And the album is dedicated to him, and his sister actually sings on a track. I had the personnel stuff here. Yeah, Rain Phoenix sang on "Bang and Blame" as backing vocals. Um, but Kurt Cobain died uh, while they were recording the album, and the song "Let Me In" is about Michael Stipe trying to get through to Kurt Cobain and it not happening. And they actually uh, the bassist Mike Mills plays guitar on it, and the guitar belonged to Kurt, and it was given to him by Courtney Love. So that was interesting to me, and that song always hit me kind of hard, even before I knew the story about it. Because when I got this, I mean, it was like I wasn't using the internet back then. I don't even know if the internet was around, maybe in some kind of primitive form. But my poor self did not have it, did not have access to it, regardless. Um, so I was basing it off liner notes and what was said on the radio and stuff like that. So or word of mouth. But anyways, that song was big for me. Just because at first I was like, man, this thing is so noisy. This song does not match anything else on the album, and then just listening to it one night, it's just like, man, it finally just hit for me that it was just like the sonic, um, cloud of a song. It's like so dense. It's very shoegazy in a way, and um, like the feel and the energy and the distortion. Um, I mean, because yeah, Bill had to play the song, or sorry, not Bill. Mike had to play the song, and it's Kurt was left-handed, so and Mike is right-handed, so he had to play the guitar upside down. Um, but there's some great organ on it as well. So who played the organ on that? Was that the organ was played on it by Peter Buck, guitarist Peter Buck. But I found it adds such a spice to it that it's already like such a great song. It's a great, I think, tribute to Kurt. You know, Michael really caring about him so much, and writing him, let him in, you know, uh, let me in is what it says, but what the title of the track says. But um, yeah, hit me hard as a kid growing up. This is the first album I bought with my own money. Did not know I was getting all this weightiness to it. I just knew the radio stuff. I didn't know. And the Kurt thing it hit everybody so hard, including myself, who had just gotten into alternative rock and everything. So yeah, it was a surprise. Anyways, yeah. So let's start off with the track list. So what's Frequency Kenneth? The name of the song. Man, I think I had read it and I had heard this all my life too, but it was like I believe it was Dan Rather, news journalist. He was getting assaulted by some people, and they kept saying, "What's the Frequency Kenneth?" over and over. I may have gotten the name wrong because I was like, why do they call him Kenneth? But anyways, I'll have to look it up. I'm sure I'm gonna kick myself later. I couldn't remember it. But anyways, it was I just love the guitar on it. It's just a classic guitar jam. And I'll say this too. This album does not get enough credit. I feel like when people were talking about the history of R.E.M., they leave this album out, and they really shouldn't. I mean, this is the last album that has a single that makes it to the top 40 of the Billboard 100. So in their career, it's the last one. It's a big pivot in style from what they had done previously. This album sounds like no other R.E.M. album. And heck, I appreciate it all the same for it. This album is at times, very sexual, which caught me off guard too. I didn't realize this band went that, talk like that. It's like a alternative rock, grunge, glam rock fusion is what it feels like to me. It gets pretty glammy. I mean, and I know like some people were like naming off some yeah, what's Frequency Kid and Bang and Blame, and I was like, man, King of Comedy to me is like a big one, and heck, it sounds like Strange Currencies, Tongue. I mean, a lot of this has all those elements in it. Star 69, yeah, but yeah. So this album doesn't get a lot of credit that it should. It's pretty much after I think it's Automatic for the People or Out of Time, one of those. Then they're like, okay, that's it. No more albums. But they put out some other ones after that. Monster and Up and New Adventures in Hi-Fi, I believe. And while after Up, I kind of fell off. And even with Up, I struggled with because it was a lot more electronic. I mean, it was electronic because it's the album where Bill Berry was no longer there, and they were using a drum machine and everything. So it was kind of weird after that for me. And I don't know, the sound just didn't click with me. I was on to trying different things, and yeah, and the band disbanded in 2010. see them every now and then pop up as like a reunion tour or like show. Um, but I've never seen them live. That's something I would like to see. But anyways, let's go ahead and talk about that. So West Frequency Count, big single. I love the weird abstract lyrics, which R.E.M. That's what Michael's voice is always good. I mean, I could say that about every track though. The guitar though, the guitar really stands out on this one though. And then next we have Crush with Eyeliner, which I thought I had read that this song is, I mean, at least Courtney Love feels like it's about her, but it is a very glammy song. You know, I think it says on Thurston Moore um, does backing vocals on Crush with the Eyeliner. Um, so I thought that was interesting. Cause there's a couple people do like backing vocals on like Bang and Blame. Cause I see like multiple people listed. Like I see like Annie Diaz, Sally Dworsky, who also does backing vocals on King of Comedy. Lou Kriegel, Rain Phoenix, and Linda Stipe, which is Michael's sister, do backing vocals on Bang and Blame. Christian Eyeliner. It's just so glammy and it's love the sound of it. Yeah, or the sound of it. The chorus is very catchy too. King of Comedy. I don't know. It just has this like because it goes the transition from Crush with Eyeliner to King of Comedy is like kicks you in the face. It just it makes me think of like somebody like dancing around like Wall Street or something like that, like big businessman or something like that, making money. But it's like I don't know. It's just a weird image to me with the song. I love it. I love every track on here. Some more than others, but I mean, I don't sleep. I dream. That's one of them I was talking about, like some of the sexual lyrics in it. But he also sings that high falsetto in it. But I do like it. It's a great song. Star 69. I believe I read that this wasn't even supposed to be a single, but it ended up being like a big song. And I think I was talking about the last big hit single that they had, which was over like number 40 on the Billboard Hot 100. I believe it got to number 19, but that would be Bang and Blame. Didn't want to leave that out. Let me just say about the personnel real quick. So Bill Berry on drums, percussion, backing vocals, Peter Buck on guitar, and Farfisa organ on Let Me In. Mike Mills on bass guitar, piano, organ, backing vocals, guitar on Let Me In, and Michael Stipe on lead vocals. That's the main band. Okay. So where was that? Okay, Strange Currencies. I was reading today too that this one has like the same like rhythm pattern and some like vocal similarities as Everybody Hurts, but they decided to keep it anyway. Tongue was the last single from this one. Apparently, I didn't even know it was a single, but apparently it was. Bang and Blame, classic, like I said, big hit song. I Took Your Name is really good as well. I already discussed Let Me In being such a powerful song to me. Circus Envy, and then You. Yeah, I re-listened to this album today, and I feel like I'd be repeating myself. There's nothing, Star 69 really does stand out. I mean, all these stand out. None of them sound like alike at all, but it is like in the same like wheelhouse for this album. I mean, there's some parts of it where he's singing more normal, like Michael Stipe sings more normal, like he normally does. And there's others where he just like gets in that high falsetto and everything. But this whole album is just very grimy and dirty too. I mean, it just feels like so different, which is what they were going for. They were going for something that was louder and brash and more punk, which I do feel like they do get that across. I mean, some of the track it can get. I mean, it doesn't get like blatantly. I mean, well, it does a couple times, but it does get pretty dirty and nasty sometimes. But the whole feel of the album does as well. I mean, yeah. Anyways, I feel like people should give it more of a shot. So I think if you haven't heard it, you should. Um, listen through it all the way through. Keep an open mind. Um, and I mentioned the most important ones to me, but yeah. Okay, so let me say this: my favorite songs off of this would be "What's the Frequency, Kenneth," "Star 69," and "Let Me In." Probably, yeah, that's my top three. "Let Me In" probably is going to be my most favorite. Then would be "What's the Frequency, Kenneth." I just find that very interesting song. But yeah, I was thinking this the whole day. I mean, my kids kept looking at me, and I was like, I don't know, and trying to go that high and everything like that made me kind of raspy. But anyways, listen to the album. Let me know what you think of it. Let me know your favorite songs from it. Is there any other R.E.M. album that you prefer more? I mean, I like a lot of their albums. I can't say this is probably their best one. I'm not going to say that one, but it holds a special place in my heart for me since it was my first dab upon myself. Um, and it does deserve more respect. So leave that in the comments. Um, like the video, hit the bell, hop the video up, please. Share, help me get my subscriptions up. I really do need the help. Subscribe yourself if you're not already, and join me tomorrow for another song of the day. Continue our musical discovery. So where are we in the rotation? We did South Korea today. So tomorrow will be a random song. So it could be anything. So join me in the morning for that, and have a good night. Bye bye.